Okay, a couple quick things to look at on this bike. One of the first things, your oil plug for the drain. If you come down here, this is on what I would consider to be the side. And let me see if I can zoom in over here. Put your plug right down by the exhaust, right underneath your gear shifter. It's right down here. Let me see if I can adjust this. Yeah, right there. That's the drain plug for your oil. Okay, to get the fairings off and spread just enough to change the oil, you'll see this right here. That's a push pin. You got to get a flathead behind it, and it'll pop right out. And then there's two more in there on the underneath. Probably can't see them in here because, as you can tell, my bike needs to be washed. But that's hopefully later on today. You pop those bad boys out, and then the filter's right here in the back, which of course can't be illuminated properly. So be it. And let me go get a picture of that wonderful oil filter cup that works so well. Okay, to get the drain plug out, turns out this is a 17mm socket. Yeah, you might be able to see it, might not, you know, so be it. Just for giggles. I wonder if it's going to show. Of course not. I have that. I have basically, it's about 1.5 inch, 2-inch extension on a wonderful ratchet. And that works real well for getting that off. Now for the oil filter wrench that I've been using, this is, it says Toyota filter wrench. It says performance tool. And the model number on the bottom, which is probably the most helpful part of this whole freaking thing, is W54118. It comes with a lifetime warranty. It fits real good with the oil filter on this. Actually have that off draining. I was going to do an oil filter change today, but not doing oil or filter. Just wanted to get this out there for somebody. Now, the most important thing about this whole setup, when you go to change the oil, do yourself a favor. Make sure that you're on a nice flat surface. And when you're done, and yes, I know this is going to look like crap because of the fact that, well, you know, life is life. But this is on an incline, so it's going to show a little lower than it should normally. But over here, and this is on the passenger side as you're sitting on it, and although you can't see it in the video, there's two little nubs behind this, and that's where you want that to be. Let me see. Yeah, I can't get a good shot of it, but basically there's two little nubs kind of like this on the edge. It's actually on this side, I think, over here. And you want to keep the oil when it's, you know, I would start it up after you do the oil change. Let it run for about 30 seconds, shut it down, and just make sure it's in between those. Make sure it's not on a stand when you do this. It'll throw everything off on you. And, you know, also, make sure that if you're going to change the oil and you decide to use some sort of, you know, regular old oil or something, make sure there's no friction additives. I've been using the Rotella T6. It has the JASO MA2 approval. You know, it's nothing more than a spec. It should be fine. But you want to make sure you don't have those friction additives. Since these have a wet clutch, it'll just slide like crazy. So, other than that, looking not too bad out here. My pretty little chicken strips back there. You know, so be it. I'm not sure the order of these two, but one's the timing hole and the other one's some sort of a check hole. And of course, over here, there's our oil fill. What I've found works pretty good in there. You're going to use about 2 quarts of oil with the filter change from what I've found. And the front, and I think I mentioned on the forums, you know, you can use a 2x4 piece. I happen to have the said 2x4 piece right here. And what I do is when I spread these fairing pieces at the bottom, because basically you're going to be pulling out 3 of those little pin pieces, starting with the one so obvious in the front here. And when you pop those out, you can go ahead and you take this and you spread it, and magically this 2x4 will suddenly fit in with it spread just enough for you to be able to take that filter wrench on that 1.5 inch socket, and then you can get that off. And it just runs beautifully when that happens. Makes it a lot easier There's another wonderful shot of that piece. Hopefully it'll come through good in the video. I kind of doubt it. But that's pretty much the gist of doing the oil on this. And if you're washing it, one of the things to remember, I don't know how many people are used to motors in general, but allow them to cool off before you spray them with cool water or anything like that. And by cool, I mean like give it an hour or two. Otherwise, you're likely to crack things that you didn't think you could crack. You know, here's a nice shot of our radiator here. Definitely needs to be cleaned, and if all goes well, that will be. The other thing is,